Hey there MMA fans, in today's video, Aljamain Sterling accuses Henry Cejudo of cheating. Khamzat Chimaev wants to see Kamaru Usman as his next opponent, and Kamaru Usman replied to Chimaev. Also later in this video, Colby Covington, one of the most colorful and controversial UFC fighters, continues to attract attention with some pretty bold statements. Recently, he announced that he was ready to fight the lightweight title holder Islam Makhachev in his own weight class. Colby really wants that fight, and he's not embarrassed to say so. He even calls Islam the most convenient rival for himself. Also, Covington promises to break Israel Adesanya. Then, at the end of the video, Michael Chandler has finally spoken out about his run-in with Conor McGregor on the set of The Ultimate Fighter. So, let's see what all we got going on. But before we kick things off, I just want to ask you to help subscribe to the channel. As you can see, 91.4% of the people that watch don't subscribe, while only 8.6% of people with a sub do. So thank you to everyone who helps to support us. Reigning UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling has denied what Henry Cejudo's team has been claiming, that their fight was a huge financial success and sold 700,000 pay-per-view broadcasts. Triple C's coach on the MMA Hour said, "Do you know how many pay-per-views we sold? 700,000. He should thank us for this. He himself would not have collected 200,000 pay-per-view. This fight brought together 700,000. That's more than double anything he's ever seen." According to Sterling, actual sales were much more modest, posting on social media saying, "Yesterday, I was told that we will be lucky if we pass the mark of 250,000 pay-per-views, and you lie on the air that we made 700,000? Now, if you do recall, the bantamweight title fight, which did headline UFC 288 in Newark, New Jersey back on May 6th, did go all 5 rounds and did end with a victory for Aljamain Sterling by judge's decision. Now, despite the fact that UFC President Dana White has made it clear that he is not thrilled with the idea of a fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman, Khamzat wants the Nigerian as his next opponent, saying, "Kamaru Usman," he wrote on social media, ticking off the name of some potential fighters who previously had challenged him. The former UFC welterweight champ announced his desire to fight Chimaev about a week and a half ago, suggesting that this fight could have contender status. Kamaru Usman replied saying, "I think I should fight Khamzat, and if Leon keeps winning, we'll have a 4th fight." Now, as you already know, Chimaev is on a 6-fight win streak in the UFC and is rumored to have his next fight on October 21st at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi against Brazilian Paulo Costa. Just the other day, Khamzat refuted the statement of the UFC president, who said that Chimaev's long downtime was due to personal problems and not due to difficulties in organizing the fight for him.
Не, машина тоже у нас большая, из-за этого.
Машина большая просто, большая. Я вас догоню.
Now, moving on, Colby Covington is one of the brightest and most controversial fighters in the UFC, and he continues to attract a lot of attention with some pretty bold statements.
This man is calling out everybody. He wants fights with Leon Edwards, Israel Adesanya, Islam Makhachev, Khamzat Chimaev.
Title holder in the lightweight division, Islam Makhachev, in his own weight category, saying, "I think that the fight with Makhachev is a real opportunity. We have already discussed this possibility backstage. It was about whether I can make the necessary weight. I'm not the biggest welterweight. I don't have to lose that much. And then I eat everything, so anything is possible." Covington went on to say, "In the offseason, Islam and I are the same weight, but he is a weight cheater. He races to get an advantage over the lightweight since there are no wrestlers there." Of course, Makhachev wants to sit in his weight category in the same place where his daddy Khabib ruled. "I will stop his fight and beat him until he gives up." Well, of course, that potential fight is still pretty far off, but Chaos has already moved the stage of active trash talk. Colby really wants this fight, and he is not embarrassed to say so. He even called Islam the most convenient rival for himself, saying, "Just look at how many problems Makhachev has had with this dwarf from Australia. Islam wants to enter the big welterweight game. He knows what will happen. Khabib didn't go up because King Colby rules here. Nurmagomedov knew that he could not compete with me in a fight, so these Dagestanis try to avoid real wrestlers. I could have become an Olympic champion, but I started my career in the UFC." Now, while Covington's talk might seem like a lot of bravado, Makhachev's recent fights have clearly demonstrated his growing versatility. His bout with Charles Oliveira, he won while still standing. Makhachev tested his resilience against Alexander Volkanovski, enduring a barrage of very powerful strikes. Thus, it is unlikely to assume that he could be easily knocked out. But moreover, before even entertaining the thought of a matchup with Makhachev, Covington first needs to secure a victory over Leon Edwards. Makhachev is not the only UFC champ that Colby Covington is ready to challenge after attempting to claim the welterweight title from Leon Edwards. According to Chaos, he would relish the opportunity to share the octagon with Israel Adesanya, saying this would be a monumental and highly significant fight. He declared in an interview with MMA Fighting, saying, "I don't think he'd be able to handle me. I'd take him down and pound on him from the first second until the last until he breaks. He won't be able to withstand the cardio king. I'd love to make this fight happen, champion against champion, the US versus New Zealand or wherever he's from. I don't know, let's do it. I doubt he'd want to go toe-to-toe with a wrestler of my caliber, someone who won't back off an inch and will constantly pressure him being right in his face. I won't just execute one takedown. I'll execute 5,000. Be there right in front of him and break him. If that's what the UFC wants, I'm in. I'm a company man, a businessman, so I care about his prosperity. I want to create big business for the greatest organization in the world."
And the UFC and I were ready to pull out all the stops to bring the biggest card the UK has ever seen in the O2 this summer. Leon Scott is the one person who thinks the UK fans aren't worthy and deserve a fight night instead of a pay-per-view? What an asshole! I vow to right this wrong and defend my world title in a blockbuster pay-per-view in the UK. God bless you all. Where's my golf club?
So what are your thoughts on this? Which fight out of those would you prefer to see? Covington versus Edwards? Covington versus Makhachev? Or Covington versus Adesanya? Please share your opinions down in the comments below, as we are genuinely interested in hearing them. And finally, moving on, Michael Chandler has spoken out about his confrontation with Conor McGregor on the set of The Ultimate Fighter. He responded on social media saying, "I hardly felt it," regarding a video that had come up on social media of a quick glimpse of Conor McGregor pushing Michael Chandler in the face. Now, a bout between McGregor and Chandler is scheduled for later on this year, though no date or venue has been announced yet. But the UFC has unveiled the official trailer for Season 31 of The Ultimate Fighter, in which we will see former UFC double champ Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler lead the teams. So we are looking forward to this fight, but what is your prediction? If this fight does happen, who will win, Conor or Chandler? Leave your thoughts down in the comments.